American people is for their leaders to work together to find solutions. And I think that from the very beginning, both Democrats and Republicans have said that the whole Benghazi incident needs to be something that we work together to find out what happened. Unfortunately, a lot of Republicans are politicizing it, tried to politicize it before the election, I think, for political gain, and are continuing to do so. And what we're finding out now is that the intelligence that was handed to the White House by the intelligence community was exactly the one that was used in the days after the Benghazi attack to tell the American people what had happened and what was known up to that point. And so I don't think that it's a good move for the Republicans to continue to try to politicize that. Let's find out what happened. That's what needs to be done.
Well, there was some question about the wording, using the word extremist, if they really thought it was a terrorist. Why was there an interagency decision, as we found out late yesterday, to not specifically use Al-Qaeda mentioned in those talking points, the unclassified talking points that Susan Rice was using on the morning shows. But, Amy, do you believe at all that the election results are playing a part in this Washington drama?
I don't think so. I think Benghazi is such a serious scandal and debacle in terms of American foreign policy that everyone wants to get to the bottom of the answer, or get to the answers, including, for example, Senator Dianne Feinstein, the Democrat from California. And as far as those talking points go, it is not at all clear where they were edited. What we do know, apparently, is that the original determination that Al-Qaeda was involved, or Al-Qaeda-affiliated groups, was sent out the front door of the CIA and went through some sort of editing process, perhaps interagency, perhaps at the White House. That still hasn't been answered. And what we do know is if the White House wanted to provide the answers, they could have done it before the election and chose not to. And let's not forget, of course, General Petraeus and his whole personal scandal debacle that could also be professional. We still don't know the answers to that. Again, the administration knew of the Petraeus investigation. The president claims that he didn't before the election. Now we're only learning of it after.
Let's talk a little bit more about Susan Rice and that whole situation with the talking points, because she, as we know, is the ambassador to the UN. She has been mentioned as a possible replacement for Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. Republican Senators John McCain, Lindsey Graham, they have already said no way they will hold up her confirmation because of Benghazi, and comments made days afterwards explaining the attack. So at the time, though, she said it could have been, because of this anti-Muslim movie, as we said, but now that's sort of been disproved. I guess the question is, well, first, listen to this, and then I want to ask you, listen to some of the sound that we have from Obama and McCain this week.
Sure.
If Senator McCain and Senator Graham and others want to go after somebody, they should go after me. And I'm happy to have that discussion with them. But for them to go after the UN ambassador, who had nothing to do with Benghazi, and was simply making a presentation based on intelligence that she had received, and to besmirch her reputation, is outrageous.
That statement is really remarkable in that if the president thinks that we are picking on people, he really does not have any idea of how serious this issue is.
So, Maria, to you on this, is this a fair attack, do you think, on Ambassador Rice? I mean, she did use the talking points that were given to her after this interagency decision.
No, absolutely it's not fair, Randy, and the president was spot on in his defense of her. Let's remember that these were talking points that were given to her by the intelligence community, and I do agree with Amy that we need to figure out what happened in terms of the words that were used. I don't agree that it had anything to do with the White House. I think it had to do with classified versus unclassified use of the word term extremist and Al-Qaeda. And so Republicans need to be very, very careful here. They need to tread a very careful line, because let's remember their full embrace and defense of another Rice, Condoleezza Rice, when she was clearly using faulty intelligence to take us into war that killed thousands of troops. So that is something that they need to be careful about. They're heading into a place where they're going to be seen as being incredibly hypocritical and very political, and that's not what the American people are looking for from their leaders right now.
Amy, our Dana Bash did some great reporting on this last night, and she's the one who got it confirmed by a senior U.S. official telling CNN that it was an interagency decision to take the word al-Qaeda out of the original unclassified talking point. So who do you think is going to win this round? Will it be McCain or Obama?
Well, there's no reason why the President of the United States and the Commander-in-Chief would not be told that it was al-Qaeda, and he is privy to all classified information and can personally declassify information if he chooses. As far as Susan Rice is concerned, she's a cabinet member. She serves the people. She went on those Sunday shows and repeated over and over and over what we knew at the time could not possibly be the full story. And I was on this show with you two ladies before she went on those Sunday shows, and I said, if you think this is about a YouTube video, then get in line for your burqas and for a female procedure, which I will not again repeat. It was clear to reporting, to anyone who picked up the newspaper, who read even read foreign papers, that what Susan Rice was peddling on those Sunday shows was not the full story, even though she insisted over and over and over again that this was a spontaneous mob action, which, as we have now learned, did not even take place. She has to be held accountable, as well as the people who President Obama himself, who said they put her out there to carry this water. Why?
All right, we're going to leave it there on this discussion, but I want you both to stick around because I want to ask you about Mitt Romney's post